shores of the St. Johns River in Jacksonville, Florida. We're in the third quarter now with the Jaguars in possession of the football. Now Kaepernick throwing on second down. Oh, there's that man again. It's complete. And he's going to be dead. Down at the 35, gain of 7.
Oh, damn.
They need to get to the 29 if they want to pick up a first here on third down. And he will not be able to hang on through the contact. It's incomplete. The coverage strong, and now it's fourth down.
From a defensive perspective, they had exactly what you want anytime they want to throw the football. There was pressure on the quarterback. They were getting after him, and they tightened down on the receivers and forced the incompletion.
And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. So they'll trudge off the field with a bitter taste in their mouths after that failed fourth down conversion.
Yeah, there'll be a lot of analysis there on the sidelines. Was it the right call? Was it against the right defense? Should they have even gone for it at all? Will that change what they do going forward in this game? A lot of questions to be answered by them. The defense doesn't really care. They're like, bring it on again. We'll stop you the next time, too.
First play of the drive going for 14 and also going for a first down. Fitzpatrick now from the 50. That's complete to his tight end, Mike Gesicki. Give him 9 there on the first down completion.
It's a gain of 9.
When I see Mike Gesicki make a catch, I'm reminded of his athletic ability. And go back to the time we were leading up to the draft and showing his career highlights, including high school volleyball, where it appeared he was almost jumping over the net. I expect him to continue to grow in 2020, start to make progress in 2019. 5 touchdown catches and 570 total yards. I'm okay with the call there. In fact, I actually like it. I know they're down a couple of scores, but the running game worked in that situation. I would continue to go in that direction.
Once again, they run with Breida on first down. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. Second and right at a yard.
Brought him down.
That's a really nice job by them picking up the run blitz and detecting it and blocking it and turning it into a nice run. And a lot of times you think if you blitz a running play, you're going to smother it. But a lot of the blitzers, they come in a little bit high. They don't have great leverage, and they're easily blocked and turned to the side.
So from the 17 now, here's a first and 10.
And the Dolphins
from the red zone now, Fitzpatrick. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And he'll go down here at the 12-yard line.
Mike Gesicki.
Yards on the catch there, brings up second down.
Brings up 2nd and 5 at the 12-yard line.
Fitzpatrick a give to Breida. And he couldn't quite get there. Tackled down at the 1. It's a good gain of 11, sets him up 1st and goal.
Run there by Matt Breida, and he spent the early part of his career in San Francisco, sharing the backfield and sharing the ball. What you really want with him, open space and make sure he's touching it, because he can take it from 0 to the end zone in a very short amount of time.
On 1st and goal, Howard. And he'll get blown up behind the line of scrimmage. Back at the 6. A full 5-yard loss that time. It's going to make second down pretty tough.
I would think down 2 scores at this point in the 4th quarter, even with the loss there on 1st down, this has got to be 4-down territory. If you're the field goal kicker, your only purpose now is if you can run out for a pass or actually carry the ball into the end zone. Otherwise, don't even look at the coach.
On second down, a run with Breida. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. That backs him up 1 yard and brings up 3rd down.
We all know how much running backs love getting the ball down near the goal line. They think they're going to find a way into the end zone. He hasn't had that kind of luck so far. Ends up not getting in on the last 2 carries. You know he's going to be upset about a missed opportunity.
Trying to get it to Williams, but it's intercepted. Picked by Ronnie Harrison. Then he'll take it all the way up near the 30-yard line. That throw, Charles, over the middle of the field, and a few too many bodies in there got picked.
That's a normal situation, too, isn't it? No matter how hard you try and spread the field sometimes, there's always going to be a traffic jam, it feels like, towards the middle. And if there's any type of a missed throw, or maybe the ball's tipped, or just too many bodies in the area, an interception can result.
And now the throw here secured by his running back out of the backfield. And he's brought down after a very nice gain. That good for 21 yards. On the catch and run. Right after the turnover, they come out throwing.
And that means it's a sudden change situation. We used to practice it on defense. Sudden change, get out there, stop. The offense, but you typically run out there a little bit unsettled. I think that's why he came right out throwing the football, hoping to catch him off balance.
And he did. And this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on 1st down.
On the tackle.
Both of these two teams, the Jets and Dolphins, looking to improve their rushing attack in 2020. Last year, they were the bottom 2 teams in the league in terms of rushing yards. The Jets at 31, and the Dolphins dead last at number 32.
How about that run? Picks up a first down. Note the enthusiasm in my voice. Remember, last week, AFC Offensive Player of the Week. I think he's trying to get another one in the fold.
And you talked, watching film, a lot about his form and just hitting the hole, running north and south, as we like to say. And I think he's been doing that a lot recently.
Squaring those shoulders and getting downhill.
Now a stoppage here as it looks like we've got a Dolphin shaken up on the play. Well, he gets attended to. We'll step aside. 6 yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4. Now they'll throw with Kaepernick.
Shit.
And he almost
How did they not grab that?
Could have been a game changer there in this second half. Instead, it's 3rd down.
Brings up 3rd down and 4.
Shotgun snap now for Kaepernick. And he's got his favorite target yet again. It's complete. And he is going to have a Jags first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. 11 yards there for Jacksonville and a first down as well.
Good catch there by Tyler Eifert, and Jacksonville, who needed help at the tight end position, signed him to do exactly that. Spent his first 7 years in Cincinnati, a terrific red zone threat.
5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down.
Brings up 2nd.
Again, a run with Thompson. And he will fight his way into the end zone for a touchdown. Chris Thompson, his 3rd touchdown of the game, 10th on the year. And the Jaguars add 6 to their lead.
That drive that really increased their cushion felt very military to me. Very precise, methodical. That's one of the words you've taught me. And they just got it done.
And slowly but surely now starting to pull away a little bit. Things looking good for them here in the 3rd quarter.
Not only pulling away, but you mentioned that slowly but surely. You also drain clock, too, with a drive like that. So you really give yourself an advantage.
Josh Lambo to kick off for Jacksonville.
And Lambo now, after the touchdown, he'll kick this one away. Taken from about the 12. And out a little across the 25 to the 27.
Return. The Dolphins take over 1st and 10. At their own.
Miami set to take over. And they had a nice little drive going last time. Threw the interception in the red zone. Costly.
Bad enough to throw it anywhere, but that drives coaches insane when they're thinking about, hey, we got a shot at points already. We're already in a spot where you're thinking you got 3 on the board for sure, and to come away with nothing, that's a really tough one for them to swallow.
Yeah, will they make up for it? Obviously, they're not where they want to be right now on the scoreboard. Big plays like that, though, that'll trend them in the right direction.
Yeah, a few more like that, they'll be right back in the game, and if they can continue to do that, maybe they'll inspire their defense as well. They'll get a few stops.
Now a short one to Gesicki. He's brought down at the 34. Call it a gain of 4. Now after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. Line of scrimmage, the 24. This is 2nd and 6. We'll check on his status when we get back. Throwing again on 2nd down. Fitzpatrick. And a quick throw here, that's complete.
Complete to Albert Wilson.
I think that's a big pickup for a first down because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a first down. Executed it to perfection. And he'll be tackled at the 23 after a gain of 3. Tackled there by Monte Nicholson.
Brings up 2nd and 7.
On 2nd and 7, Fitzpatrick.
A lot of times it's that first read that you have. Maybe you get it in pre-snap, and he locked in on his target, but he was covered quite well, and that one's incomplete.
And 7 yards.
On 3rd down, Fitzpatrick. That'll be complete to Breida. And a pretty nice tackle there, ranging up from his free safety spot as he'll stop him about a yard short. It's a gain of 6 on the play, and it'll be 4th down.
A short gain that doesn't get him the first down brings up a 4th down situation.
Really nice job defensively. They knew where the sticks were. They got the stop before.
34-yard attempt.
The kick by Sanders is good. And that will move the deficit from 20 down to 17.
Dolphins 20.
So the drive stalls out inside the 15-yard line, but they do get 3.
And I've talked with enough players nowadays, and when they have these types of kicks, that no one says to their guy, hey, that's just like making an extra point, piece of cake. Because the extra point is not a piece of cake anymore. But kicking a field goal from that distance, just give him confidence and let him knock it through.
28-yard line.
Getting set to go again as we look at the back heading onto the field again. He has had a whale of a game. In the third quarter, you're already over 200 yards. I don't know what more he can do at this point.
Not a whole lot, and what he has found is that zone that we always talk about, where every carry feels great. Every carry potentially is a sprint to the end zone, and all he wants to do is ride it as long as this game goes on.
Yeah, now he's just thinking 300 yards maybe. Well, thanks for joining us here on a Thursday night in the NFL. Third quarter, 2nd and 10 coming up. And not much, maybe a yard up to the 29. They do get a yard there, but only a yard. Leaves them with 3rd and 9 looming. On 3rd and long, it's Kaepernick. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he's stopped up short of the first as they tackle him down at about the 36.
One of the money routes for any offense, the drag route. So tough to defend because the receiver can stop at any point and make himself available to the quarterback and get a completion. But I love the communication we saw there. All the defenders pointing out the receiver where he was going, and then they're able to rally to the ball after the catch and stop him short of a first down.
Well, Charles, I guess the only thing I can think there is they've got a 3-score lead, and they're saying, well, we're not going to lose this, so let's have some fun. I don't know why you go for it.
I think that's as good an explanation as any, and we all know that certain coaches are more aggressive than others. That call to me, the fantasy people loved it, right? Anybody who's going to touch the ball, gain yards, maybe put more points on the board, they're happy that they kept it and did that. So very interesting deal there, but I'm with you on that one. Maybe just says, what the heck, we can't lose. Let's go ahead and keep trying to win or add to our lead.
2nd and 10 forthcoming here. Third quarter action from Jacksonville. This is Breida on the draw. And he's got this down almost to the 20 before he's dropped. 15 yards on the play, first down. What makes a draw play like that successful?
Well, we did see where he made the first wave miss, and that was a big part of it. But a lot of it is just being actors back there, making the defense think it's going to be a pass.
First down throw for Fitzpatrick. Thrown to Parker, complete on the slant. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. Back-to-back nice plays, 12 yards that time and a first down. 1 quarter remains here in this Thursday night matchup. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. First and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. They run with Breida, and he'll take this from the 9 down to about the 7. Defensively, pretty good start there with their backs against the wall.
That's a win for the stop troops right there, and if I'm them, I get a little bolder now. They won the first battle, keep coming after them, put the pressure on them.
This will be caught at about the 6. And he will take it in for a Dolphins touchdown. Mike Gesicki, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Dolphins are able to cut into this lead.
As a general rule, quarterbacks don't want to lock in on a receiver before the ball is snapped. But in this case, based on the matchup he thought he was going to get, it was favorable for his tight end. He locked in on him early and found him for a touchdown.
Sanders on for the extra point. And the lead is trimmed down to 10. 5 plays there on that drive. And it winds up in 6 points for the Dolphins. So the lead back down to 10 as things get a little more interesting, and the kick is away. Looking up into the lights, and he muffs it. Taken in at the 3. And he will make it to the 20-yard line and no further. Now Colin Kaepernick and the offense heading back out onto the field. And right now, probably just one thing in his mind. It's getting back to the hot start because he's really faded.
And ordinarily when that happens, the quarterback, as you know, is usually the leader.
It's a foot race. The 40. And he takes it all the way down to the 32. It's a big play for the Jaguars. 47 yards on the ground. So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. That one good for a gain of 13 for Jacksonville and a 1st down.
Well, that's a carry they have to be satisfied with. And throughout this game, they've been satisfied with what he's given them. Whenever they've needed a big run, a 1st down, he's the guy they've turned to. And it doesn't matter what the defense thinks. They feel like they've got the confidence to keep handing it to him and keep picking up good yardage.
Kyle Van Noy in on the stop. Well, no doubt here in the 4th quarter, this is a huge defensive series.
Hey, they can read the scoreboard. They realize if they give up a field goal here, this game might be out of reach. They understand the stakes and are playing accordingly.
And he'll take this down for about 4 yards, down to the 15.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case,
and he will get this into the end zone for a Jaguar touchdown. Tyler Eifert, his 2nd touchdown of the game, his 3rd on the year. And the Jaguars are able to widen their lead.
In order to lead in a game, you're going to get plenty of contributors, but that's his 2nd touchdown catch of this game. He's one of the key guys in this one.
And you better believe he'll be looking for the hat trick here as this one continues to go.
Is no good. That keeps the score. Jaguars 40.
Should have been picked. Probably doesn't matter on a 2-point conversion, but still, as a former DB, you want to grab that ball when you can, don't you?
You certainly do, and don't say it, because I know you're thinking it. Don't say it.
What am I thinking?
You know what I know what you're thinking. Well, if he'd had hands, he'd be playing on offense.
Well, that's true. You've said that before. And Lambeau now, after the touchdown, he'll kick this one away. Fielded near the back of the end zone. And this will not be returned. It'll come out to the 25.
25-yard line.
Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked. But you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
Fitzpatrick now to throw on 1st down. He's got Wilson, middle of the field. He'll be dropped after a gain of about 6 across the 30 to the 31. They'll come up now 2nd and 4 from the 31.
At the 31.
From the shotgun, it's Fitzpatrick. He'll get this into the hands of Breida.
Fitzpatrick.
That might feel like a little bit of a lost opportunity there for the offense because the defense brought pressure that time. And sometimes against that, you can get out to your running back, and it can turn into a big gain downfield. But what a nice job they did getting to him quickly and holding him to a short gain.
Able to find Shaheen, the tight end. And he is going to have the Dolphins 1st down, and he's going to have it by plenty. Able to get 8 yards there on 3rd and 2.
Pickup.
4th quarter, every drive so critical, and you figure may only get one more shot after this, so a touchdown's imperative on this drive.
It is, but you also have to think to yourself in play calling, don't hold anything back. Don't save it for the 2nd touchdown. You got the 1st one for the 2nd one to even matter. From the snap, he certainly looked like he knew where he wanted to go with the ball, but surprise, that guy was covered. So that took his attention elsewhere to no avail.
Throwing again here, Fitzpatrick on 2nd and 10. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by the former 1st-round pick, DJ Hayden. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. And that one will pretty much erase any hopes of a 4th quarter comeback.
With emphasis, interception, return for touchdown. Door closed, locked, reinforced.
The defense more than did its job. Now the offense is summoned onto the field as they'll go for two. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line.
I know they didn't tack on the 2 points, but I liked their attempt. After the interception return for a touchdown, I was thinking to myself, forget kicking it, go for two, and they did.
Well, yeah, and everybody's scrambling. Maybe you catch the defense on their heels. They weren't ready to be out there.
Yeah, it's almost like a sudden change, right? There's a turnover, you take it away, they stuck it in the end zone, keep the momentum going. Give credit to the defensive guys for rallying and stopping that 2-point attempt.
Taken in the end zone. And he'll decide to not bring this one out as their drive will begin at the 25. It's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, are they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feel like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So for the Jaguars, it's an ideal start as they move to 3-0 now on the young season. And now they'll have a few extra days here before they face Cincinnati next week. Meanwhile, for the Dolphins, they'll fall to 1-2. And they'll be at home next week for a date with the Seattle Seahawks. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Start your week by installing your game plan.